Hi, class. Hi, colleagues. My name is Jabbar Muhammad Daniel-Cox. Uh, the working title of my project is Global Public Safe Haven, GPSH, Global Public Safe Haven. And the objective that I see is the most qualified objectives for my project is to create a scalable and sustainable model that does three things. It feeds individuals experiencing homelessness. It provides transitional and long term housing options. And it establishes safe spaces for shelter, resources, and general support. And what I mean by safe spaces is are spaces that are created for people to use for a specific amount of time, uh, no matter how long, no matter how short, but they're able to get generative things such as food, water, drinks, and also have places designed for them to be able to uh, almost not be seen. If anyone has experienced homelessness, they understand what it means to almost not be seen, meaning that they can sit and there's not a whole bunch of people walking by able to look at them. There's not a whole lot of people walking by able to see them where they're sitting at. They can have privacy, um, specialized privacy in the safe spaces, meaning that everything is designed for them to not have to be seen or looked upon or gazed upon by people just walking by or anybody just walking by to get to other resources within the safe space. I hope that that gives a very clear understanding of safe space, but I can define it even more and elaborate even more for a deeper understanding. And I have three core deliverables. My first is to establish public kitchens and meal service hubs in partnership with local governments and NGOs. The second is to construct modular housing or convert vacant public buildings into transitional shelters and long term dwellings. And my third core deliverable is to develop safe spaces with 24/7 accessibility for individuals experiencing homelessness, offering health, sanitation, sanitation resources, health resources, psychological resources, and employment resources and employment services. And when I speak of employment, I'm not just speaking of regular or normative employment, but I'm speaking of transitional employment as well, where there doesn't have to be a lot of documentation. It's not an exploitation of work, but it's just uh, I guess something similar to bartering of services, where somebody can help do something, or they can bring something and it can get passed out, or they can help do certain services where they get paid during that day. We There used to be something called day labor, um, and I'm not sure if that's still a thing, but it would be similar to that. With day labor, you did not have to have a whole lot of paperwork. You did not have to show a whole lot of documentation. Anybody experiencing homelessness did not have to expose themselves in such a way. Um, or be uncomfortable enough to where they decide not to work, no, not to participate in employment services and employment resources, which would then limit them further to having even the smallest comforts or the smallest ability to do things like purchase a meal from a restaurant or purchase products that they need for the um, for the health, for the easement, and the healing. process that they may have to go through, whether it be increasing great health, increasing uh, the bit of money, or just increasing resources that they need, and especially when it comes to health, psychological, and sanitation resources. And sanitation resources doesn't just stop at toilet tissues, lotions, deodorant. It also goes into having resources that allow them to transition in and out of general care for themselves, and no matter what other spaces they may be in. I have a three-tier assessment framework. There's a pre-assessment before project launch. It's a mid-project assessment during the execution of the project, and it's a post-assessment, which is the completion, which is done at the completion of the project. Um, and I want to talk about the post-assessment first, because that is something that is very it's really sacred to how well the project is going to be implemented, how well it's going to be implemented in other cities and other countries, and how well the program is just going to work. There are many cities, many in many countries where there are a lot of programs to assist or help with homelessness, but they just don't work. They just don't work. And so right now, I have four key objectives for my post assessment. The first one is to evaluate sustainability indicators. And for me, the sustainability indicators are governance, things like governance, indicators like governance and staffing and funding. The second is to measure behavioral outcomes. And for me, that goes into the realm of if they're securing employment, or is there a recidivism to their homelessness, to the homelessness of that individual, and improvements to health. The third is to conduct case studies for policy recommendation and for scalability. Scalability has to be an incremental part of the project, uh, working wherever, in whatever city, in whatever country, and also for it to be able to grow into, I call it growing outward. It's able to grow outward and be able to help more people than it normally would. So let's say if I have a city, and then I have another city that's 15 minutes away, or I have another city that's 30 minutes away, grows outward to where now it's able to service, service individuals who are experiencing homelessness in multiple cities. And of course, the scalability is does include global expansion. And the fourth is to hold a final stakeholder summit. I want to hold a final stakeholder summit to present the findings and inquire and create a space for my stakeholders to give feedback on revision and what they see and their insights into how things can be changed, be uh, more effective, and more efficient. And I have four implementation strategies. The first one, I've been with the implementation strategies. I actually have more than four. I want for efficiency. I want to keep it at four. Um, and I'll share a few of them. The first one is intergovernmental collaboration. That's where I am doing what I call memorandums of understanding or MOUs. And that's just where I'm able to build, create a language between national agencies, between regional agencies, between governments, between municipal governments, just to be able to streamline funding and property allocation and legal compliance. The other one is what I call mobile care units, MCUs, and that's where I deploy mobile kitchens and clinics and temporary housing pods to service the people, the individuals who are experiencing homelessness in urban and rural areas. And right now, I know that there has to be management. There has to be a management, a line of management that is streamlined for those MCUs. And so right now I'm thinking about also creating a unified protocol for the management of those MCUs. And the reason I was thinking about that unified protocol, really I liken it to creating a office manual, a office manual where there is just set rules in place that everyone can follow, and it be collaborative, and it encompasses the activities, even the soft activities and the hard activities of those involved in the MCU. The next one is I call it a digital ID and tracking platform, and that's not for the identification of the person experiencing homelessness, but it's to establish a global digital identification system for the population so that that allows easier access to services without all the delays and um, the minutia that comes with bureaucracy. And my goal is that it tracks the progress across borders. So that creates a collaboration between program locations. And my next one I want to share before I finish up is what I call my public-private philanthropic partnership model, which is 4P. I might need to go ahead and patent it. But with that, it's just to integrate the different, I guess, the different sectors of organizations, the government, private sector, and non-governmental organizations, um, to streamline the process for them and for their employees and for the employees of those agencies, um, to share resources and participate with each other through multilateral agreement. And I know this is supposed to be a short video. We're now at 13 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish now with the vision for the future. And really, that is that as I move forward with this project, the next phase is going to be focused on innovation, and I'll say integration as well. It'll be focused on innovation and integration. So that's what I my goal is to institutionalize a global standard for the care of those people experiencing homelessness and integrating that global standard into local policy in whichever city or whichever country. Also, I want to expand data sharing and language translation tools so that there's a universal accessibility to using those tools efficiently and effectively and quickly. My next one is to encourage intergovernmental task forces um, as a preventative measure for future homelessness. And what that means is that doesn't mean police units, that doesn't mean law enforcement, that doesn't mean um, anything of that style, militarized, anything. What it means is that there is think tanks within intergovernmental agencies that are able to create new ideas and share new ideas and implement new ideas and new strategies to prevent future homelessness. And my and to finalize that, I also want to, and I plan to develop university and vocational training programs that have specific curriculums for formerly homeless population, for people who have experienced homelessness, and that is near and dear in the vernacular of things. That's near and dear uh, to me and to the why of the project, because I know that in my experiences, I have experienced homelessness at a time where I've taken graduate courses. I have degrees. I at one time I experienced homelessness while having a job, have been in my career, and I experienced homelessness without having a job. And I met other people who were dealing with the same things. They have accolades. They have experience and achieved so much in their careers, but they're at a time where they are experiencing homelessness, and they may still be in school and still experiencing homelessness at the same time. And so I want to be able to take the thought of my project and convert it into viable curriculums for people to be able to replicate my project in their purpose, in their perspective, in their want or their need or their purpose driven perspective or their scope of what they have experienced with homelessness or experiencing homelessness for no matter what period of time they experience homelessness. Again, my name is Jabbar Muhammad Daniel-Cox, and whatever questions you have, I will answer in a very, very timely manner. And definitely be explorative in your questions and think inside and outside the box in the vernacular of things.